No spoilers ahead.
A very recent TV series based on one of my favorite movie trilogies has kicked off a bunch of mostly friendly debates with friends of mine who will go unnamed for now. We've been discussing the idea of watching movies casually versus critically.
Movies are an art form, or at least they're supposed to be, and art is mostly subjective, so I'm not suggesting there's a right or wrong way to watch them. But I do believe you can improve your experience by viewing movies through a more critical lens. Which brings me to Jordan Peele's third film, Nope. After Get Out and Us, Nope had a lot of expectation placed on it, mostly because Get Out was tremendous. Some people thought Nope was extremely sophisticated and even operatic in its structure, and other people found the characters unlikable and thought it lacked intrigue.
Going beyond simple personal preference, I believe a portion of this disparity can be explained by the differences in watching a movie casually versus watching it critically. So, seeing as I'd already started this review and the subject of watching movies critically came up, I have decided that now is the perfect time to put this little theory of mine to the test, so I can prove my friends wrong.
The plot.
The story opens in 1998, on the set of a sitcom called Gordy's Home, starring a chimpanzee named Gordy. When a balloon pops on set, Gordy freaks out and attacks the human cast. The child actor named Ricky Juke Park escapes the attack under a table, but Gordy sees him and extends his hand to him right before he's shot dead by security. Then we jump to present day at Otis Haywood Sr.'s horse ranch. Otis trains horses for TV and movie productions, and one day while he's out on a horse, a token falls from the sky and pierces his brain through his eye, killing him, leaving the ranch and the business to his children, OJ and Emerald. His son OJ, played by Daniel Kaluuya, whom I've been watching since way back in his Psychoville days, wants to honor his father by keeping the business up and running, but Emerald's preoccupied with fame and fortune in Hollywood. According to the Haywoods, the unnamed jockey in the animal locomotion photos was their great-great-great-grandfather. 6 months later, one of OJ's horses are filming a commercial with a famous cinematographer named Antlers Holst. When the horse is startled by one of the crew, it reacts aggressively and OJ ends up losing the job. Tight for cash, OJ's been forced to sell some of his horses to Jupe, who's now operating a Western theme park called Jupiter's Claim, where he makes money exploiting the Gordy's Home Massacre event from the opening scene. Later that same night, the electricity goes haywire and the horses go bonkers. And it turns out they're freaked out by a UFO thing that's been eating the horses and spitting inorganic matter back out into the fields. And that's how Otis Sr. died. Given their financial situation, OJ and Emerald decide to hire Angel Torres to get footage of the UFO. But the UFO's electrical interference stops him from getting a clear image. But Angel does notice a single cloud that never moves. They determined that to be the UFO's hiding place. Jupe uses OJ's horse Lucky in a live show to lure the UFO thing out. And the plan works perfectly, except it ends up eating Jupe and the whole audience as well. And somehow from this, OJ figures the UFO isn't a spaceship at all, but a territorial alien predator that eats anything that looks directly at it. And on his way home, the alien predator traps OJ in his truck. And if I was stuck in the truck with OJ, I'd have been all like,
Dude, I know, I promise I'd stop making that joke. But the truck's not working. Don't you think we should get out?
So OJ decides to manipulate the creature's behavior like a horse so they can capture the footage without getting killed. He names the creature Jean Jacket after an untamable horse he once had, and they hire the renowned producer Holst to help them with the video. To get around Jean Jacket's effects on electronics, Holst uses a hand-cranked camera. The gang devises a plan to draw Jean Jacket out. They fill the field with tube man props to monitor the electrical malfunction so they know where Jean Jacket is at all times. A reporter from TMZ ends up in the wrong place at the worst possible time when his electric motorcycle shorts out and he's sucked up and eaten. Holst captures the footage, but his obsession with getting the perfect shot results in him being eaten along with the camera. So the rest of them head for the hills. OJ lures Jean Jacket away from his sister while she uses the motorcycle to get to Jupiter's Claim, so she can release the park's cowboy balloon mascot as floating bait. Jean Jacket tries to eat the balloon while Emerald uses the park's analog camera to capture the elusive photo, which she does, right before the balloon explodes and kills the creature.
And there you have it, the plot from Nope. With movies, I think the difference between a casual viewer and a critical viewer would be the same as it would be with any other kind of hobby or interest. Let's say cars are your thing. You can describe your vehicle as a black Jeep. Or you can also call it a Wrangler Sahara 4-wheel, 4-door, 6-speed, 3.6-liter V6 with 285 horsepower and 260 pounds of torque. Both descriptions are accurate, it all just comes down to your own level of interest in cars, right? Let me show you what I mean when I suggest you can improve your movie experience with a little curiosity by watching things through a more critical lens.
If you watch Nope casually, you could describe it as a brother and sister discover something sinister in the skies above their horse ranch and learn to work together to survive it. Whereas if you're the type to look further into things, you could say, as he was reflecting on the possible future of movie theaters during the grim and inescapable tragedy of our recent lockdowns, Jordan Peele used inspiration from one of the Neon Genesis Evangelion angels to create an antagonist so spectacular it would pull people back into the theaters for all the reasons they used to want to go to them.
And again, they're both right. The difference between them is down to you and your own level of interest in movies. Here's how I saw Nope.
My own curiosity led me to find Jordan Peele saying he'd latched onto the idea of making a spectacle, something people would have to see. And he did this hoping he could contribute to saving movie theaters from a potential post-pandemic death. And in that same interview, he also talked about race and how he found it impossible not to comment on it in his films. After the short prologue, we're immediately shown the horse in motion footage, and we know that's not a random thing because he's paid a great deal of attention to detail in all of his previous movies. We also learn right away that OJ and Emerald are descendants of the man riding the horse in that short clip, which in real life turns out to be the very first assembly of photographs in sequential order to create what we now think of as movies. Then Emerald mentions everyone remembers the photographer, but not her ancestor. But when she's saying it, nobody's listening to her. These few opening details lay the foundation for Peele's message. The story goes on to have OJ and Emerald doing whatever it takes to capture an image of the spectacle of Jean Jacket. Along the way, many people are sucked up and devoured, and the occasional person survives it, and some even willingly throw themselves at the mercy of it for the sake of their art. And by the end, we're not sure if OJ's character survives or not. And that ambiguity tells us Jordan Peele's leaving us with a question.
And what is that question, you ask?
We know he wanted to draw people back into the cinemas with a spectacle, so we modeled Jean Jacket after one of the amazing-looking Neon Genesis angels. We also know there's a strong element of social commentary because he said it, and it's clear from the opening frames. So, if we put our best metaphorical hats on, we watch everybody's behavior very closely, see how the alien antagonist looks and behaves itself,
I think Jordan Peele's asking if somebody like him, who's been pushed aside in Hollywood since literally the first ever movie, would be able to get behind the camera and point it back at Hollywood without Hollywood devouring him and spitting him back out.
Jean Jacket, the spectacle, is Hollywood, the greatest spectacle of all. It even turns into a camera towards the end. If you don't keep your head down and go about your business, Hollywood's gonna chew you up and spit you out. I think movies like this are divisive because they require your involvement. And it's an involvement that may actually take work outside the runtime. Like a lot of you, I'm sure, I've seen that horse in motion clip 1,000 times and never knew what it was until I actually looked it up. On the other side of the coin, some people prefer to leave work behind when they sit down to watch a movie. And for them, movies are a simple act of temporary escapism, and to hell with having to work your way through it.
Neither of them's right or wrong. Again, as I've said, it's all about what you're looking for. But what does bother me is when people automatically write movies like this off as stupid because they don't get them immediately.
I choose to watch movies with a critical eye because I'm a curious person. When I don't understand something, in most cases, I try to fix that. And I can only imagine some casual viewers don't feel the same urge to untangle some of these plots and metaphors and allegories. And while I completely respect that, for me, it would feel like walking away from something before it was finished.
The verdict.
So, knowing all this, does it make any difference? Will you get more out of Nope seeing it from a different angle?
When I saw the trailer, I was like, yes! Because I love UFO movies and I've seen every episode of Key and Peele like 40 times, and I thought Get Out was brilliant. And then I saw the movie and I was like, shit, That wasn't a UFO movie at all. Where were the aliens? Where was all the... Why were there dozens of allegories running parallel to the main storyline simultaneously?
Did I like Nope? The acting was great across the board. In terms of cinematography, it was like nothing I've seen before. The sound design utilized silence to an award-winning extent, and the plot kept me wondering what the hell was happening right up to the end. But when I arrived at the end, I had way too many questions. There were so many things alluded to that were never explained. And even for a curious film fan like myself, there is a limit to the amount of work I'm willing to do in order to enjoy a movie.
I suppose sometimes you're just looking for a movie about a brother and sister that find something sinister in the skies above their horse ranch. Until next time, folks. Ooh, stings. It's me, Johnny, from that thing you just watched. If you enjoyed it, go down there and smash me in the face to subscribe. And if you want to watch another thing, there's one right there. Do it!